What's up?
Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Day three, energy's still there.
Yeah, I got something left. Thanks for having me on here. I'm happy to be here. Also, thanks Condor for having us on here as well. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
since I have you here, obviously the big thing in the news everywhere, which I'm also very excited about, is this new Pixis.
Right.
The new Pixis camera. So, since I have you here, and for anybody who may not know about it, can you tell me what's special about it? And I'll tell you what I think about it after that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's a new camera for us in terms of what we can offer into entry-level digital filmmaking. Really fantastic sensor that we previously had in the cinema camera 6K. So we've got a 6K open gate sensor, full frame. It looks absolutely fantastic. But we know that people have been looking at us to try and build a box camera.
Sure.
Put something out there that's a little bit more modular, riggable, that can be used handheld on drones, on cranes, mobile. And that's what we've looked to build and deliver. So we've got this fantastic sensor in the camera itself, and then a brand new camera body for us. So nothing based on the old pocket camera with the cinema camera 6K that we had before, and smaller, lighter than our Cine product, which is the other big camera release we've done at the show this year.
It's a beautiful camera. I got a chance to hold it the other day, and I was blown away by it. So I think what I love about it personally the most is, I always kind of was intrigued by Blackmagic cameras, but it was the form factor that was kind of like a sticky point for me.
Right.
So finally getting a Blackmagic camera in a box at this price point is for me kind of incredible. Now, I won't sit here and like pretend like I'm a huge cinema snob, but as somebody looking to get into like higher end video work, because I typically deal with like mirrorless cameras and stuff like that.
Okay.
It is a very, very intriguing camera. First of all, for what it offers, like 6K open gate and B-RAW and everything else that it can do, but more so for me, the price point. Like $3,000 is a crazy deal in my opinion. And I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing because I will say, again, as somebody who uses typically mirrorless cameras and stuff like that, I've always been kind of intimidated by, the cost to get into the cinema
Sure.
side of things, because you got to worry about the body, then the accessories and all that other good stuff. And I think at $3,000, it lowers that barrier of entry to get into higher level filmmaking and cinematography.
Yeah, without compromise, which has always been at the heart of what we do in the cameras that we make. We want to bring high level, Hollywood level, high performance and high image quality down into affordable price points. Now we have more expensive products like Cine at $15,000, but what the Pixis offers, we believe, is that fantastic price point and balance in terms of, for $3,000, the
Right.
performance and the capability you get. It could be your first Blackmagic camera. Maybe if the pocket cameras have not been the right form factor for you before, if the other cameras have been a little bit too more expensive, then this might be the first camera for you in the Blackmagic range. But what we know we have is a camera that will work at Hollywood level, will work at high-end TV performance for a fraction of the price. Now you're going to need to spend some money on lenses that are your choice,
Right.
how you rig that out. So as a package, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's certainly affordable and accessible. So if you're coming from a hybrid camera background, which they're great systems, but we're a digital cinema platform, so there is a difference in the way that we approach the camera and the image.
Sure.
Blackmagic RAW, then we think this is the perfect first camera for you to step into this Blackmagic world with us. And then you go on a journey, right? Your next camera might be the next up to the Cine,
Right.
and we're there to support that progress as a creative and what you want to do next.
So I think that's super exciting. So I did post a video about this camera, and a lot of people in the comments said, hey, it's missing this or missing that. And then you had a whole lot of other people who were like, hey man, this is a great value, and I'm so happy to see Blackmagic, offering something like this at that price point. So a lot of the comments were like, hey, it's missing an ND filter, or it's missing HDMI and stuff like that. So I'm more of a person where I don't expect any camera to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, if we had a perfect camera, it would cost $100,000 if it had everything we wanted in there. But what do you think about those comments where people say, hey, it is missing X, Y, and Z? What's your response to that?
I think they're fair comments because everybody's got their own personal opinion around cameras.
Sure.
Cameras are very subjective,
Sure.
everybody knows how they want to work. They've got their preferred look. They've got their preferred even manufacturer sometimes. We have to make decisions, sometimes tough decisions about what the cameras want to be. We've got a vision of what we want to be able to offer customers. ND filters is a really good example. There's people that are disappointed the camera doesn't have ND filters, but we had to go down one road and one choice.
Right.
Now, what that means is we made the decision to keep the camera a little bit more lighter, smaller, keep the cost down by taking an ND out, but you could still use variable NDs or mount to lens if that's your choice, if you want to stay light. If you're rigging the camera out and you're going to put a tray and a matte box on there, then there's enough choices for you to choose. So it doesn't mean that you don't have the options, but in fact it means you've probably got more options.
Yeah, so I think that's where I stand with it. Like, okay, whatever it doesn't have in there, at the price point, I can kind of shape it into whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
Which is huge. It's a huge deal. You know, you get some other cameras that might be $6,000 or $7,000 that have it built into it, but then you do have to factor in that cost again. You know what I'm saying? So for me, $3,000, even if it doesn't have something that I think it may need or is essential at the price point, I'm not mad about having all these different options to rig it out how I want to.
Right, yeah. The other one we had as well was the monitor on the side. It's flat to the camera.
Right.
So people have asked why was it not articulated so they can hold it out and see it. But again, the decision we had to make about the design principle of the camera, we wanted to keep it small and neat. We wanted to keep it lightweight. So instead, you've got the new Ursa Cine EVF, if that's something you want to add to the camera. So that gives you a really high quality Cine EVF that's actually designed for our more expensive cameras, but will work with Pixus. Or you may want to put a Blackmagic Video Assist.
Right.
So you've got an off-board monitor on the camera as well. So you can build and rig the camera the way you want it to, because we've listened to people that wanted a box camera. We've kept the design compact and lightweight. It's about £3 for the weight of the camera.
It's tiny.
Right? So then you build what you want as your solution. We offer plenty of options in terms of what that means, and there's plenty of guys like Condor here that will provide rigs and setups.
Sure, they'll whip some stuff up.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So I have two other questions for you. So the first one, first of all, I'm intrigued that the camera can shoot like 24 megapixel stills, which I know that's like not a big thing in the cinema world, but that is something for me, especially when you talk about like even YouTube productions having to shoot thumbnails and stuff like that. The fact that it can shoot stills is a big deal. But the other thing that I was curious about is how the cloud operation works, because you do get 2 keys to DaVinci Resolve, right? So can you explain how that works?
Yeah, sure. With the photo one, first of all, maybe is to say with that option, you've got the ability, we put it in there maybe for continuity, if you're shooting film or narrative. You can do production shots. You could use the camera on recce's.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to just grab some stills rather than just shooting, you can always use it. You got that. It's a brilliant utility in the camera, so it's there with the shot button on the side of the camera as well. Yeah, and then in terms of Resolve, you get a license for DaVinci Resolve. You can do 2 activations. So, you can have an edit or a grade. You could have a mobile on your laptop, you could have your workstation back home. And then the connectivity for us from camera to cloud is massively important. Blackmagic Cloud's a service that we've offered for about 18 months now. And we've built a load of capability about project support and collaborative workflows. What it means in general sense is you can share your DaVinci Resolve projects collaboratively with people that are working with you on edit, on grade. You can share projects at a timeline level. And then when we talk about the camera and the connectivity to it, you can now have the camera media linked directly to your Blackmagic Cloud.
Okay.
So you can offboard media, you can use certain controls into the camera to see the media and then bring that into post-production.
Gotcha.
The camera will shoot proxy files as well. So these are H.264 ProRes HD quality files. So you can start working post straight off the camera.
Nice.
Just to speed up that workflow so that it's not the traditional shooting camera, data wrangle, then get into post-production.
Right.
We want that back and forth. And then likewise, you guys in post could be giving you ideas or suggestions or pickups back at production if needed as well. So it integrates all of that work.
So is it, after you record a clip, it automatically sends a proxy to the cloud that you can immediately start the work on?
Yeah, you could do that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually a really killer feature that I'm looking forward to testing out. People start like getting their hands on the Pixus.
So Pixus will start shipping in June. So we've got a lot of interest around the product, so we want to get as many of them as we can.
I saw.
So the factory's going to be busy, but we'll get the camera shipping in June, get them out to people in the summertime, and see what we can do next.
Yeah, I'm actually as a first entry into higher level filmmaking, I can't wait to test it out. And I said this on my YouTube channel, I don't care what people have to say. This is a perfect camera for me, and I feel like it's a perfect camera for people who also are not beginners, who do want to, another low-cost, high-quality cinema camera. So I can't wait to check it out. I can't wait to check it out.
That'd be awesome. Right.
The other thing I saw you have over there is that.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that? I've seen it before. I've never used one. So can you tell me about this?
So we brought this along just to show, really give an idea of some of the workflow that we have. So this is the new DaVinci Resolve Micro Color Panel.
Okay.
So these are hardware products that are designed for the color grading tools inside of DaVinci Resolve. This one's a bit special. We've designed this for mobile and portable use and as an entry level. So if you're getting into digital filmmaking, we're all shooting raw. We all want to be able to then get into grade and you learn what that all means.
Right.
These are hardware products that let you work really quickly with track and ball control for colors across all of the color controls, with all of the button mapping that you'd want on a hardware panel. The reason this one's interesting is it sounds a little bit out there, but we put a track on the back here, a little cutout slot. It's Bluetooth connected, and you can drop your iPad in here, and we do a version of DaVinci Resolve for iPad.
Right.
So if you're getting into Resolve and you don't want to be doing your full workflow on workstations, you want to work on a Resolve iPad instead, you can drop that on there and you can be working in the field.
That's sweet.
So this could go in your laptop bag with your iPad and you could start working, and then you could then take that back to your desk back in the office and work on your main workstation as well.
So is the main change over the previous version just Bluetooth and the slot to put the iPad in?
Yeah, and some of the button mapping is better. These are really high quality buttons as well.
Okay.
We've done a new design around the track and ball, so they're really precise in what
Can I
they
see
offer.
it?
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, I need to get my hands on it.
But what it does is you'll find, like, if you're getting into DaVinci Resolve for the first time as a filmmaker and you're starting to work with raw formats, mouse and keyboard only really lets you go so far.
Right.
The precision you have here it lets all that creativity out. And then with a device like this, again, you can use it with the iPad if that's your choice. You want to use Resolve on iPad as a starting point, and then mature into Resolve as the full version. And like we said, you get licenses for Resolve with the camera. So it's a great way to sort of come into that world if you're shooting digital filmmaking for the first time.
This thing is a lot smaller than I thought. Well, a lot lighter than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So when does this new one come out?
These will start shipping in May.
May.
Yeah, and we'll get these out as fast as we
can. But yeah, I'm hyped about what Blackmagic is doing. And that's pretty much all the questions I have for you and all the comments I have for you. Unless there's anything else that you wanted to add in.
I think maybe one thing to let people know as well is if you've never used Blackmagic cameras and you're interested in what our technologies are like, we do a phone app.
Okay.
So we've got Blackmagic camera for iPhone.
I've made a video on that before.
Right, yeah, so go and take a look at it.
Yeah.
It's a free app. You can put that on the iPhone 14 and 15. What we're trying to do is, and we've worked with Apple to release the power of what they have in those cameras on their iPhones, and using our software tools. So you can access camera controls that aren't native in the software apps on the phone built in. We can shoot into ProRes, you can shoot into H.264, you can do your camera to cloud from that app, so that Resolve workflow is there as well.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And then just to say as well, at the show we're showing the beta for Android. So we're going to be bringing that camera app to Android
Oh, that's
really
right,
soon
it
as
was
well.
iOS. It was iOS. So I was actually, I remember when the iPhone 15 Pro first came out, and there were so many restrictions on ProRes, and you needed this model to access this level of ProRes.
Right.
So I did actually make a YouTube video on how powerful the Blackmagic tool was, and it was free, which was crazy to me that all of this stuff was available for free.
Yeah. So like, if you want to get in, maybe it's younger kids or the first cameras that you want to work with, the best camera you can use is the one that's in your pocket.
Right.
So put the app on your iPhone and start playing around and learn how to shoot and start to enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Don't worry about the technology. You can learn that over time.
Sure.
But be creative first, and that's what this camera is designed for. I mean, we use it in other ways. You could use it as a secondary camera on your main shoots if you wanted to, because of the high quality of it.
Right.
But first and foremost, if you're coming into digital filmmaking, it's a brilliant first step. Then come to a Pixus, spend some time with us, and then we'd love to just grow people as filmmakers, and maybe then you move to Ursa Cine as like the ultimate camera, and there you are. You're a full-fledged filmmaker.
$15,000, right?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe one day for me, but I will be happy to start on the Pixus. I'm happy to start there. But thanks for having me on here. It was a lot of great information. I can't wait to get my hands on the Pixus. Yep. So I will be watching my mailbox every day for when mine comes. And thank you so much for having me on, man.
No, I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Cheers, man.
Appreciate it. Cheers.